Today is a video on friendships, and what better place to shoot it than a car where in recent years, I have driven a lot of my school. I was awarded the title of the most friendly person. So, friendship has always come easy to me from a young age. I find it quite easy to connect with people, be it like a 6-year-old or a 60-year-old. However, friendships for me as a teenager were hell, not because of the kind of friends I had, but because who I was in those friendships. As a teenager, as is with most teenagers, I was very insecure. Like, I did not have an identity of my own. So, what happened is my survival instinct was to people please and fit in very hard and put on all of these masks and layers. So, like, my friend's favorite band became my favorite band, One Direction. My their favorite music became my favorite music. Their favorite show, Friends, although it never became my favorite, but I was trying to make it my favorite. Their favorite show became my favorite show. And I did not have like unique, preferences or choices of my own. And this especially was very, very annoying at sleepovers, because sleepovers is this free chunk of, unstructured time, and I was the person. I did not have my own unique point of view, so I was too scared to say anything that was not liked or loved by everyone. So basically, I kept quiet most of the time, and that led to that dreaded question like, why are you so quiet? When I first started my journey of personal development in inner work, I realized that this is not normal. I had a severe case of people pleasing and putting on all these masks, and I was reflecting on what helped me get out of that phase. And these were some of the things that helped me. So, the first thing, of course, is to getting to know yourself, kind of like dating yourself. Is the problem is you not knowing your unique choices or point of views. So, the simple test for this that I see is like, when you go to a restaurant, do you know what to order, or do you say कुछ भी चलेगा, यानी anything is fine? This is something that I see with teenagers who I interact with now. For a lot of questions, they say anything is fine because they're too scared to voice their opinion. But how can you voice your opinion if you don't have one? So, starting the journey of getting to know yourself, like, what do you like, what do you not like, what makes you excited, what makes brings you joy, brings me to the second point, which is knowing your boundaries and setting it. As you get to know yourself more and more, you can start placing those boundaries and start communicating those boundaries. For example, if you go to a restaurant and you everyone is ordering pasta and you are someone who does not like pasta, you can say that I do not like pasta. That is like a very basic example. But another example that is very connected to me is something that my coach shared first. She is an introvert as well, and as I am. And she used to say that she realized that as an introvert, within 2 hours, her energy used to get drained. So now she knew that. So now she would plan her social outings in a way that she could spend those hours, and then she had the courage to tell the person, okay, now I need to leave. This is the way you set boundaries. Third is removing the gap. This is that mask that we talk about. So if you, I'll put up the picture of the gap here. So one side is who you actually are, and the other side is who you appear to be. And in between is are these emotions that are trapped from your past experiences. So it could be unworthiness, it could be guilt, and as these emotions add up, you, to protect yourself, you start pretending instead of being who you actually are. So when you go on your inner work journey, these layers get removed one by one, and you come closer to this stage where who you appear to be is who you actually are. This is something that my client experienced as well. She was not able to say no to plans. She was, as a people pleaser, she used to say yes to plans even when she didn't want to go, and that would kind of drain her energy. And she did not have time and energy to pour into the things that she was passionate about. And as we went on identifying what's it for her, that layer was insecurity. So the emotion of insecurity made her do this. And as we cleared that, she was able to set those boundaries and say no to plans when she did not want to go. The next point would be doing things out of your comfort zone. So, not being liked or loved or rejected is like the worst nightmare of a people, which is why I personally, did not speak up at all at those sleepovers. So, doing things out of your comfort zone exposes you to that. And as you keep doing things in that area, it trains your body and your mind and your nervous system that it's okay to not be liked, it's safe to fail, it's okay to not be loved every time. So, this could look like doing an open mic, solo traveling, going to a neighborhood you would never go to, or having a conversation with a person you know has a completely different worldview from you. That not agreeing or not your points not landing all the time, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Next is being in touch with your creative journey and your creative expression. So, any kind of creative expression that you have is infused with your unique magic, your unique story, and your unique experiences. And especially when you share that creation with the world, it helps you to be seen by the world as who you actually are from the inside. And that is vulnerable and scary and amazing and all at the same time. So, starting this YouTube channel was that for me. The side was something that I was not comfortable sharing with my close friends for years. And suddenly I just started putting videos on YouTube on these topics. And till date, I got and still continue to get many beautiful comments and messages from people who liked or loved or connected with something that I shared. And there is another aspect that you can do is to make shitty art every day. This is an idea by someone called Amy McNee, who has her new book, We Need Your Art. And I absolutely love her. But with making shitty art is you set some time to do something, to make something bad. And as you do that, it trains your body, mind, and nervous system that it's okay to be bad. And that lowers the volume or your tendencies to for perfectionism and people pleasing. An example for this for me, for the longest time, I thought that I was bad at art, which means like drawing, painting, and all of that. So when I asked a dear friend of mine to help me paint, you know, paint a wall in my bedroom, she was like, "We'll do it together." And I was like, "No, I'm not good at painting." And I was worried that I would, ruin my wall and have a bad wall in my bedroom all my life. But she was so gentle with her guidance. She was like, there is, as we were painting and as we were drawing, she was like, there is no right or wrong in art. And even if something feels like a mistake, for example, like a petal is not in a way that you originally thought you wanted to make, we can turn it into something else. Like one of the petals became a butterfly because it was not looking similar to the other petals. So it felt so soothing to paint with her. Now have a beautiful wall and I no longer have the belief that I'm bad at art. So it was a win-win. The light is fading away as I say my last point. Last point is you will lose people, like just as I'm losing light. Because there is an aspect of you that you were pretending to be that can no longer, that they're used to, that no longer exists, and now they do not know how to relate to you or connect to you. For example, in the case of my client, she was saying yes to all of these plans, but when she started saying no, some of her friends got angry and started saying things like, you no longer have time for me and you no longer are there for me. But that was her knowing herself and setting her boundaries. In my case, I was the listener in a lot of my friendships. So I used to just listen and listen and listen and not talk back. And when that aspect of me faded away, I many of my friendships, a few of my friendships could not stand that. They just faded away because they no longer had that person who would who they could just dump everything on and not have anything back, and they did not know how to be in this relationship without me being like that. So unless you have a similar vision for life, or similar worldview, and or if they are also doing the inner work, those friendships won't survive you becoming your true self, which is absolutely heartbreaking. You should, of course, take time to grieve it. On the other side are friendships which are deeply loving, supportive, encouraging, and most importantly, friendships where you do not have to pretend to like something you do not like and to be someone who you're actually not. And that is everything.